Hey everybody, my buddy Scott, he's the owner of the Land Cruiser. He's here in the shop. That's Scott. Say hi, Scott.
Hey, how's it going?
Anyways, Scott's working on the trans tunnel, but I'm about to fix some holes in the dash that were drilled out. So I'm gonna take a step bit and drill these out a little bit bigger and make them perfectly round. And then I'm gonna find some washers that fit in there, some thin ones, and weld them up. Alright, so decided to pull the gas tank out so we can get in here and clean all this stuff up and probably strip the floor back down. So I'm gonna yank the sucker out. I already got everything unbolted. Oh yeah, look at that. Got some change, got some dirt. It looks completely solid. Yeah, looks good. Needs some cleaning. Okay, so it's another morning. I'm exhausted. But got some updates. We're starting to get things painted. This is the rack that holds the seat in. Throw that in here real quick. So that looks nice, but everything else doesn't. So we kind of have not changed directions, but we're pushing things a little further than we initially planned. So the floors are going to get repainted white. Basically all of this up to this point back here, up to this body line back here, is all going to get painted white. So that way when everything goes in, it's fresh. Because we're painting all the little pieces. You know, the tank is going to get painted. You know, seat brackets and stuff are getting, you know, we already got these painted. So all this stuff is going to get painted and fresh, and the dash is painted, is going to get painted. So it's all going to be fresh and clean when it goes back in. So, yeah, that's what's going on. So, also, on top of that, or part of that whole thing, was getting this cleaned up. My buddy Scott got this cleaned up pretty good, but then we decided that this hole that someone hacked in here, because this used to be a 3-speed on the column, and now it is a 3-speed on the floor. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to first flip this upside down and hammer it all flat, and then I'm going to draw some lines probably from the bolt holes and cut this out to a nice clean shape. We're going to put a new piece in, then I'm going to reinstall it, or as much as I can, and try and figure out where the hole needs to be drilled, so it'll just be a hole, a round hole, instead of this gigantic mess. So that's what's going to happen. All right, there it is. It's filled in. Now we got to put this thing on, or at least partially on, and get its market somehow for the transmission shifter to come through. All right, so that's as far as it's going to go down without the hole in it. So it's resting on the shifter, so I should be able to get under there and mark that with a paint pen and bring it back, cut a hole in it. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So I'll just get a hole saw, pop a hole in that sucker. All right, we can see, well, we'll see how close I get with this. I have not test fit this yet, so you guys get to see if I screwed this up. There's a good chance that it won't fit. But may have gotten lucky here. Man, why do they make this so damn hard to get in? There we go. Doesn't get much better than that. It's a little off to one side, but that doesn't matter. The boot is going to cover it plenty. I could have drilled the hole even bigger because this boot is quite a bit bigger, but I'm going to try and keep it as small as possible. Just like so. So, that's done. Next, I got to come over here and I need to get in here and I need to weld up all these holes that have been popped in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes. And I think that'll be it for welding up holes in this thing. I've been welding up holes for this thing forever, it seems like. So, let's go ahead and do a few more. Okay, so I'm hoping that's all the holes we gotta plug in this thing. We plugged a hole here, a couple of small divots in here, 3 more here. There was a medium-sized hole here. There was a huge hole here. That's all a new piece in there. Or there's a huge hole here. That's all a new piece in there. And then I plugged all those little holes there. So, and of course the big hole in the transmission tunnel. So yeah, that's hopefully a wrap for welding on this thing. Alright, so I got a couple of things going on in the short amount of time that I have to work today. One, this part of the bezel needed to be, or this part of the dash needed to be clearanced for the gauges. Because the gauge is right here, you can see where the yellow marking pin is. That's where they were interfering with that part of the dash. So let's see if these go in here. Great. Alright. There's some wire stuffing that needs to happen, but it fits 100%. It's in there. I got a lot of wires to route though. So that's ready to go in as soon as the dash is painted. Alright, it is a very cold morning here in the shop. My buddy Scott's been here and he has been painting. Look at all this white, it's beautiful. So I have been working on putting these switches all back in. We got a couple of new ones. We got a new headlight switch and we got a new wiper switch. That was causing us problems, so hopefully that fixes our problems. At least it looks nice. But yeah, it's time to just put it back together. I'm gonna get the seats back in. We got the seat belts in here. We ended up sandblasting and painting the brackets for the seat belts and the seat, to just make it look a little bit nicer. So we got all that done. Painted the bolts. Or not painted the bolts, but sandblasted the bolts and just threw some clear on them so they don't rust. We got a few things to do. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this video. Putting all this stuff back in the dash is pretty boring, so I'm not gonna show you guys that, but we're getting closer. We're getting a lot closer on this thing. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm having a blast making these videos, so we'll catch you on the next one.